Hey guys, welcome back to the Tough Eggs. I am Mr. Eccentric, and today I have something a little different for you. Today I'm going to be showcasing a game I've been waiting to play for the better part of a decade. That game being the long overdue Star Citizen. Currently, the game is in Alpha Test 3.12, though we are soon going to be entering 3.13. There are multiple career paths to choose from in the verse, and like a famous Mandalorian once said, I only wish to be a simple man making his way through the galaxy. Now, that all being said, I am flying the tried and tested MISC Freelancer. This competent workhorse holds a crew of 4, though it can be captained by a single individual. She sports 4 gimbaled size 3 guns and 4 missile hardpoints, capable of holding multiple size 3 and size 2 missiles, something that is vitally important when engaging those high value targets. So, on top of that, when you're wanting a change of pace, the Freelancer Base Edition comes with a fairly comfortable 66 SCU of cargo space, which means it's more than spacious enough to fill any commodities you'd like, those being space Uber packages, copious amounts of illicit materials such as drugs, valuable minerals, or space penguins from New Babbage, if you'd wish. The Freelancer was one of the earliest vehicles showcased within Star Citizen, advertised as one of the real workhorses of the verse, and unlike her closest competition, the Cutlass, she holds a more reputable reputation. Since her initial conception, the Freelancer series has received a major rework. Gone with the original stairs and old front landing gear, and instead we have the usual utilitarian design found with many MISC ships. So, we have a large rear cargo door, which provides access to the ship's interior and the manned turret. This turret contains 2 size 2 weapon hardpoints. Later on, we're going to improve these and add the tried and tested CF227s, increasing the rear firepower and allowing some multi-crew gameplay on the vessel if you can find another person in the game wishing to join you and fire from this rear gun, which I'm about to show to you all now. So to gain access to the turret, you enter the scissor lift in the rear of the turret, in the rear of the vessel. This will pull you up, and here you have access to the guns, which provides a good view of the top portion of the ship, though it is really a defensive gun more than anything, so you can access the 2 MFDs when you're in this view. You can change the fire mode, decrease the sensitivity, switch the gyro and power on and off the gun. So I'm just going to show you the versatility and the view from this. You can see towards the front there's a bit of a problem, that being the hull of the Freelancer where it bends upwards, though to the rear the gun arc is pretty comfortable, so you can get some defensive rounds on it. That's essentially what this turret's for, it's a defensive turret. So let's leave the turret and explore the rest of the ship. So, after leaving the turret we are in the cargo hold. So this fits around 56 SCU of cargo and is a long cylindrical shape. And then we have the points for the different components, and then we have the first set of airlock doors. So within this airlock is a docking collar. This will become much more useful in future updates, allowing a Lancer pilot to dock with other vessels mid-voyage. So, past this next set of doors is the crew area. Minimalistic but functional and better than you'd find on a Drake vessel. So we have 4 beds. You can climb aboard these just now. And these beds also function as the ship's escape pods. I do look forward to the day when I can launch friends from these pods mid-flight when they're having a nap. Not that I'm sadistic or murderous or any way, but I just feel like it'd be really funny leaving them in the middle of nowhere in what is essentially a space coffin, if they launch how I expect them to do. So let's climb out of the bed and explore the rest of the crew area. So within the compartment we also have an integrated washroom and toilet, alongside a small food processing unit. I'm going to show you these now. The toilet is fairly cramped. I imagine there's not a lot of space. If there's 4 of you in the ship and 1 of you on the toilet, I'm very thankful that the front 2 doors are airtight, so you can escape the rather awful smells probably coming from this area when someone's having a space poop. And then here we have the food processing unit. rather awkwardly placed next to the toilet, so I do hope the last user washes their hands before pressing these buttons. You know, nothing like space diseases being shared amongst the crew. So, moving forward, this is the side entrance to the Freelancer, the entrance I use most commonly. So this extends a ladder down and out to the outside area. So, once we've got that buttoned up, we can go and look further into the ship. So finally we can pass the last door and find the cockpit of the Freelancer. 4 seats for each of the crew members alongside individual MFDs, so multifunction displays, allow every member of the party to participate in running the vessel. The pilot, however, does bear much of the responsibility. They have access to the ship's 4 main weapons and its missiles. One big drawback of the Freelancer series is its limited view, as you can see. This can make it difficult in dogfighting or landing operations. However, a good working knowledge of the 3D holo map can rectify many of these issues. Now that the brief tour is complete, I'm going to explain just how good at grinding UEC the Freelancer is. The bread and butter of Star Citizen at the moment is grinding wealth, and there are multiple routes to take when doing so. You can become a miner and help refine Quintinium, used to propel all the vessels in the game. You can haul loads between ports and hope you don't 30k or run into a gang of roving pirates. Or you can track down and eliminate Stanton's most notorious criminals. The Freelancer can do all of these things. And today we'll be doing just that with a method of bounty hunting that should allow us to net 400,000 UEC easily in an hour if the runs go smoothly. Okay, so we've moved over to Urkel.games, a really useful website when you're tinkering with your ships and starters, and you can really kind of figure out what you want to put on the vessel before you go out and spend the money in-game. So, to make sure we have the best possible outcome, we do need to ensure the Freelancer is as prepared as she can be. So firstly, we're going to improve her power plant and shields. Currently, the Freelancer comes stock with the Daybreak Civilian Grade C power plant, giving us nearly 6,000 power outages a second. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to add the tried and tested military JS400, which is nearly doubling our power output, however it is increasing our EM a little bit. As stealth isn't really an option for the Freelancer, I aren't too worried about increasing my EM or IF signature, so it's okay. And then for the shields, you can see we've got the 5MA Jamali Civilian Grade C 2 times, giving us 43,000 hit points, but it is taking 3 minutes to fully charge. We're only getting 273 hit points of shields a second, which that's not a lot when you're being shot in the face by size 3, size 4, and maybe even size 5 guns. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of combine 2 different types of shield. I don't currently own any Stukarons, which is breaking my heart. So I'm going to go with the general, all-round, probably one of the best shields in the game, the FR76. So that's giving us 24,000 hit points, nearly 25,000. It is giving us a massive EM increase, but I aren't too worried, like I said. And then on top of this, we're going to also add the Umbra Stealth Shield. This is kind of my go-to on a lot of my ships when I can fit 2 shield generators. So we're losing about 4,000 overall hit points, but we're gaining triple the hit points per second, and we've nearly, we've got less than a third of the full charge time that we had originally. And if you overclock these, which I recommend, we're getting a 38-second charge time and 1,000 hit points back a second, which means every time I get hit, I can pretty much bounce my shields back up to full capacity straight away, unless there's multiple targets hitting you at the same time, which is probably bound to happen in bounty hunting, but you know, any increase is helpful. Next, we're going to increase her firepower. So stock, it comes with 4 Tarantula GT870 Mark IIIs, and they are good guns, to be fair. They do pack a punch, and ballistic guns have that kind of perk of being able to do damage through shield, regardless of the shield facing being open. But they do have the limiting factor of you have to go and reload them at a port. And when you're doing an hour-long sesh of grinding, you don't want to keep going back to port unless your ship is completely knackered, where you're missing a wing and you've got half your guns missing. So we're going to equip some energy weapons instead. I would recommend either the FL33s, the Panther repeaters, but I'm going to use 4 times of the Quarrelers because they're the only things I have available to me at the moment, because a character reset removed all my FL33s. Still crying over that. I could easily buy some more, but that requires a trip to Port Olisar, and I'm nowhere near Port Olisar at the moment, so that's something for another day. So we're going to put my quarrelers on there. Overclock them, obviously. Overclock the power supply as well, and now we're running 2041 DPS. And the good thing about these quarrelers is they have a 3.8 kilometer range and they never run out of ammunition, which means I can start engaging those targets from quite a fair distance away. Further out than they can hit me often means I can kill them before they even get in weapon range, which, you know, is better. The missiles I'm going to leave as they are, as to be honest they're all pretty good. I would swap out the ignites for Rattler 2s, but Rattler 2s are a pain to come by because you have to go to really specific areas on the map, and I'm kind of nowhere near those frequently. Well, next time I go to Area 18 I'll probably pick them up, but I just keep forgetting when I'm there. But I would recommend swapping the ignites for Rattler 2s just for that increase in damage. But the arrested 3s are great all-round missiles. And to be honest, missiles in the current meta aren't that brilliant. I kind of use them only in forward attacks if I'm in like my Vanguard or my Saber, where I'll chunk them down and then fire a missile to finish them off and switch to the next target. But with the Freelancer, I don't really use them that much. You can do, but I kind of rely on the firepower of the ship itself more than anything. And then lastly, we're going to increase our quantum drive from the Odyssey Civilian Grade C, which, you know, it is a decent stock quantum drive, to be honest, a lot better than some of the ones you do get on other vessels. But you can always improve it, and we're going to add the XL1 just to get those travel times down. Nobody wants to be stuck waiting 8 minutes travelling from destination to destination, especially when you've got nearly 500 grand's worth of cargo in your hold. And with the prevalent of 30Ks at the moment, I'd rather get to the destination as quick as I can and make sure I can store my ship as quickly as I can, just in case anything goes wrong. Anyway, now that the load up is all set and we're ready to go, let's go engage those targets. Okay, now that we are back in the ship, I'm going to power everything up, overclock everything I can, so that's overclocking the shields, the power plant and the weapons. And then I'm going to accept the largest group bounty available. Once done, we'll travel to the destination and lay waste to the target as quickly as possible, ensuring that before we make contact we've already selected the next target, allowing us quick transitions between bounties and between targets themselves. Then we're going to bait the target into a head-on pass, boost forward, increase our shield capacity to the front, and destroy the target before they really have a chance to respond. So you can see there's a hard group bounty there, so we're going to accept that. And I'm going to start a timer just now. So let's find the first position. Sometimes the skyline can be a bit wonky when you've just targeted it. So we've marked the position. We're going to take off, everything's powered, front shields are boosted, and we're going to quantum to the first target. And with the XL1, quantum travel times are severely reduced, which I do appreciate. It does make the transition between different bounties a lot easier. So you can see this is a 3 jump to the destination, so we're going to power through the first one. You know, Star Citizen still isn't optimised very well at the moment, it's still an alpha, so FPS drops are quite common, especially when I'm only running it on a GTX 980 Ti from 6 years ago. Really do need to improve my rig at some point. But to be fair, it runs everything else perfectly fine, it's just Star Citizen it struggles with, but let's get to it. I am running keyboard and mouse at the moment. I do have a host set up on the way, I'm just waiting to plug everything together. The mounts have arrived today, so I will be building that later on. Probably end up ruining my own chair because I'm an idiot, but hey ho. So this is our third and final jump. We're going to land at the target, and as we run away we're selecting the next target. There we go. Second destination set. So there we go, we've made contact with the enemy vessel. It's 10 kilometers away, let's see what it is. Got a radar lock, there we go. And it's a hurricane. Nothing to fear. Hurricanes can be a pain in the backside if they manage to get on your side unnoticed, but I'm coming straight at him, overclocked weapons, and we're engaging as soon as we're in range. So So we're reversing the thrust, extending that distance, and there we go. Target destroyed in less than 10 seconds. Charging the quantum drive, and we're already moving to our next location before his reinforcements have even arrived. And there we go. 100 kilometers to the next target. This is only a 2-stage jump to the target, so on the second one, that's when we'll locate and put on the next bounty. Okay, moving on. Just spooling that drive. There we go. Okay, let's pick the next position. Skyline being a pain in the backside as per usual. There we go, 1.8 mil we're on currently. So next target set, we've already picked up the radar ping on the enemy contact. Another Hurricane, that's lucky. No Valkyries so far, no overly tanky ships to come up against. So again, rinse and repeat, we're just going to get in range, ease off on the throttle when we get there. Raked his front shields. He only managed to get 3 rounds off. Only 1 connected. It really is brutal. Now I admit, this style of gameplay, just going in head-ons with these bigger ships like the Constellation Freelancer, it's not the most actively engaging, but it's so easy to make money in. So we go with third target. And I am running a 20% bounty as well on these group bounties from North Rock. I have had to do a couple of character resets, which kind of annoys me, because when that happens with the current reputation system, your rep is persistent, but the missions aren't, so you can get that 20% bonus still, but the missions won't spawn because it doesn't say you've done the first one. So it does take around 2 or 3 days for the server to kind of catch and be like, oh, you need your mission back, and then you get your Pro 10 one to drop. That is really annoying. That's happened twice to me so far. So here we are, going to OM1. Bit of a long one, gotta go all the way around the planet here. But it's only been 4 minutes since I accepted the bounty and I've done 2 of the targets. Already made money. I forgot to accept a call to arms. I will do that at the end of the hour just so it's all set. And there we go. Third target, 12 kilometers away. It is a Vanguard Harbinger this time. So a bit more tanky than a Hurricane. I do love my Vanguard, it's a great ship. Well, at least I think it's a Vanguard. Yeah, it is, yeah. Sorry, I was really struggling with my eyes like that. So we're going to move into the target. Same situation as before. Not even bothering with the missiles. 4 kilometers away. Start firing. Really raking his front shields. And there we go. Target destroyed, 1500 UEC. So what we're doing is we're turning around because I didn't accept a bounty. We're decoupling and then we're just accelerating in one direction away from where the enemy's going to spawn his reinforcements. Then we're going to pick up a different bounty. So that's 47 grand plus an additional 3 to 4k from the targets destroyed. So that's 50k in 5 minutes. And you can see there's a couple of other players doing bounties out here. That's why they've gone down quite a lot. So I might have to take just some MRTs or HRT single bounties for the time being. That's what I'm going to do. Just waiting for Skyline to catch up. There we go. And then I can boost to the target. So I will keep grinding bounties for the next hour. And let's see how much money we can make. So I'll transition quickly over to that one in a minute. It'll be like time travel, amazing. So here we are, an hour later, heading to the last bounty. Just gonna mop this up real quick, and then that should take me to exactly an hour of bounty hunting, and we can see how much money we've made. So moving forward, last target, it's a Hurricane, not even stressed. Just gonna boost in there, take him out, fly to an OM or a save point, and we can see how much money we've made. And it hasn't even been an optimal run. I've forgot to turn on call to arms until about 6 minutes ago because I'm an idiot. So I've lost out on easy 50k from bonuses, but that's not too much of an issue to be honest. So we're going to move to OM6. and we can see how much money we've made. I haven't looked at all, so it's going to be a surprise to me as well. Okay, so we're here. Let's open up the MQ trader. So I was on 1.86 mil when I started. Let's see how much money we're on now. So I'm going to move over, go to the MQ trader in a second. I'm just making sure I was on 1.86 mil. I was. Okay, I'm on 2.372. So that's just under 500k in an hour of bounty hunting. And that would be about 2.4 mil if I had call to arms on. That's an easy 500k, and that's even not even optimal running. So that was only a couple of VRHTs. There were a couple of other players who were fighting over the bounties at one point. I did end up losing one as I couldn't get there quickly enough. So that was even with mixed bounties, not even just the harder ones. And that's still 500,000 credits in a Freelancer, not even the best combat ship. And I know it's not the most fun way of making money, but it definitely works. Like, I could do it in a Sabre and be a bit more engaged, but it'd work out the same amount of money, so you may as well just do it in a Lancer, which is multi-crew, multi-role, can do everything at once. You really don't want to underestimate these ships. They can do everything. They can do cargo runs, they can do escort duty, they can do bounty hunting, and they have the quantum fuel limit to take you everywhere in the verse. It really is such a great ship. You just have to get past the awful view from the cockpit and the sort of phallic shaped hull. But if you can get away with an ugly ship that does everything, why not? Especially when it's only 1.6 mil or so UEC. And just to further the cargo hauling capability of the Freelancer, so before I did the bounty hunting, I filled the cargo hold of the Freelancer with the Quantinium I mined last night, and I really do recommend mining Quantinium before you leave, because you can leave it to do overnight, come back, and within 10 minutes make an awful lot of money. So here I am on my Art Corp, 10 minutes after logging in, I'm selling 4,000 plus units of Quantinium, and I'm making a tasty 375k in literally 10 minutes of logging on. Granted, Quantinium mining is a bit hit and miss. You are literally hoping for great RNG when it comes to rocks, and you're really hoping you don't 30k, which happened to me about 5 minutes after this clip. So I made 375k and then crashed. And then I did go to a couple of other places to buy the respective components for the Freelancer, as I haven't really used the ship after the last reset. So I got up to 2 mil, spent 150 grand, which got me on the 1.86, and that's when I started the bounty hunting from. But like I said, that's 700, nearly 800k in literally an hour and 10 minutes work. So it is a really great ship to just make money, or just to use throughout the verse. It really is incredible. Anyway, I've been Mr. Eccentric. This has been Star Citizen, and I'll catch you next time.